everybody has their own authenticity. And once you understand that and embrace it and don't base who you are off everybody else's perceptions and opinions of you, that's when those opportunities that you're talking about fall in your lap.
If I could go back though, I wouldn't even go to college though. That's the segue into what I'm saying.
I feel
if
you.
I could go back, I would go to the army or a service or whatever, and then because it's simpler.
My whole soul has been built on upon of like, how can I help others? It's never been about me. I never been thinking about myself ever. It's more like, how can I help somebody else be in position to win in life? And I'm type like, even if I make $0 or go in the negatives, negative $5,000, it's about how can I help that individual be their greatest self. Welcome on to a new episode, actually, from my minds, Raw Mind Sports Network. Ryan Jones is here, but I got other hosts, man. I got Brad Mitchell here. Then I also have my main man, Melo. But we have a special guest. Each and every show, we're going to have guests that are going to be here to give us their perspective on life. And we have our episode is not based on celebrities. It's not based on the millionaires. It's not based on people who have a lot. We're going to also, bring in things of the perspective of like the average worker. And today we have my cousin, but at the same time we have a guy who's been around. They call him Uncle Dump. And, his name is Quincy Robinson, and he's going to give his perspective of like how his life is. And this show right here is going to be based upon like religion, relationships, life.
Yeah, overall culture.
We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. I'll let these guys introduce themselves in their own way. So, Brad, here you go.
What's going on, world? It's your boy, Brad Mitchell, born and raised in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Shouts out to the good old 252. I'm 36 years old, married to a beautiful wife, got a 2-year-old son who keeps us moving at 100 miles a minute. I love life. I love all things blackness. I love us as a people, our culture. And I love having insightful conversations with good people. So it's going to be a great podcast.
And then we have my main man, not Carmelo Anthony, but they call him Melo. Because they call me Prime Time, but I ain't Dion. But I'm still Prime Time. Go ahead.
Jarmel, Arrington, 252, born in Whitakers, Rocky Mount area, same thing. Northern Nash. One time.
Boom.
One time.
I'm joking.
37. College grad. Ain't no good these days, but just to say it.
And then
I'm sorry. Good. And then, guys. Just here. We can have a good time.
And then we have our guest tonight, man, Quincy Robinson, man. He can break down everything about him and his own perspective.
Yeah, you already somewhat introduced me, but my name is Quincy Robinson. 45 years old and still making it in life. And just can y'all give y'all enlightenment on touching base on all aspects of life and what's going on and what we need to do to make it out here. And we just gonna enjoy ourselves with this podcast.
Here we are, man. So from my minds, the Raw Mind Sports, presented by the Raw Mind Sports Network, we're gonna talk about education first. So education, man, it's a little different. So we're gonna start with Brad right here real quick, and we're gonna discuss how we look at the public and the private sector.
Well, I think in today's dynamic, education is really based on really who's in political leadership, right? Ooh. So everybody's perspective about education is different. There is a rise in the demand, and people are wanting more private education, private sector education, more private schools, charter schools, things like that, which do pull away from the light that is public education. I don't know when all of a sudden public education became the thing not to do. More than, I don't know actual numbers, but I would say a good 80 to 90% of Americans probably have a public education. But yeah, man, and so I just see, there's this negative narrative coming about when it comes to public education. Things happen, of course, fights happen and things like that happen in schools. kids are learning themselves. They're learning how to navigate feelings and emotions. So people try to hone in on those things to make the overall structure of public education look bad. But as a product of public education, I think I came out all right, you know.
No doubt.
Went to Rocky Mount High, graduated from there, went to UNC Greensboro.
Melo have some issues, but okay.
I got family that went to Northern, so it's all good, you know. It's all good. But yeah, you know, so shouts out to the first 4-year class to graduate from Rocky Mount, the class of 2006. After I graduated from Rocky Mount, went to UNCG, got my bachelor's degree in nonprofit management. And then recently I went back to school to get my master's. So in 2022, I got my master's from the North Carolina Central University, Eagle Pride. Got my master's in public administration, which definitely talks about all things politics, policy, and everything that goes along with that. So education was a huge part of that we discovered and talked about in grad school. But yeah, man, there's so much that goes into education, man. It's crazy. Some things are great. Some of the things that are happening in the educational space are great. And then some things I'm just looking at, like shaking my head, like when is stuff gonna change, man?
So my thing is though, like you say you got the bachelor's and going for your master's or whatever. So when you got out of school, what was the challenges like with jobs? Fresh out.
So fresh out of bachelor's, the market is so here's the problem, right? And I'll say this from a cultural standpoint, like what we just talking about before we went live is this whole concept of like, go to college, they said. You'll get a great paying job, they said. And I think college was kind of forced on our generation, especially the millennials, because, you know, whether our parents are Generation X or baby boomers, there might have been situations where from an access and resource standpoint, they didn't have the opportunity to go to college for whatever reason. My dad went to a community college, but that's only because they didn't offer his field on a 4-year level. My dad got his degree in certification in mortuary science. My dad's a mortician by trade.
He still do that. He still does that now?
So actually, I used to work for my pops during the summer when I got out of school. Yep, I worked at the funeral home.
Boy.
Tough right there.
Yeah,
man. You got to be a special person to do that.
No
work,
doubt, I
man.
got family in it.
And then my mom has credentials in, you know, early childhood development. She's worked in daycares and as a teacher assistant in the school system. Still full-time subs when she can. But yeah, man, like just getting back to the question, man, finding a job was different because I didn't know the whole concept of internships, right? I didn't know if you go to college and you get an internship, how that can kind of segue you into a job before you graduate. So when I went to college, the objective was just to go there and get a degree. My parents didn't have the knowledge about internships, apprenticeships, like all these different things that come along with the college structure. So when those times came, I don't feel like I was sold short, but I just felt like I wasn't as well equipped and prepared as I could have been. So finding a job, it took a little minute. I kind of had to work some things that were outside of my specialty, but I was ultimately able to get into my field. And, you know, my work right now primarily is youth work, and kind of just, you know, being a part of giving back to the community that way, which is rewarding. I love it. I feel like it's my gift, so I'm operating where I need to be.
Right. I always tell people all the time, like, it's a difference between, like, going to a job and working because you got to pay bills, but going to a passion that you love and what you do, like, it hits different when you get paid for it. But on another note, like, you know, you got anything else you want to say?
I mean, I'm listening to what you were saying, because like I said, I graduated from North Carolina Wesleyan 2010 with a business degree or whatever, business administration, bachelor's. And like he was saying about the internships, you know, I played college basketball, so I ain't really had time.
You was an all-time lead scorer there. Like you had, like you got a record like at Wesleyan. So I know
really,
that.
Like they didn't really push you to do like internships. Like, you know, senior year, I ain't really prepared to step out of here and get a job or whatever. You know, the NBA dream is kind of dead. You know, you think,
could you see yourself from Wesleyan going to the NBA?
Yeah, I could have. If I would have, you know, I put in more. I think I would have had to work a little bit harder than what I did. And it would have been, you know, different. But that's just, you know, with life as a whole, you know, you do stuff differently, then, you know, changes will be made. If I could go back, though, I wouldn't even go to college though. That's the segue into what I'm saying.
I feel
If
you.
I could go back, I would go to the army or a service or whatever, and then because it's simpler. Like you said, we going with the American dream. They say college is in my era. College was where it was at. But then you get there and you like, this ain't guaranteeing me no job. I literally work at a job that somebody can get out of jail and come and work at the same job, and I got a college degree.
Yeah,
No disrespect to nobody or whatever, but that ain't right.
Yeah, college seems to be only beneficial if you're in a specialized field.
It's a great
if you're
experience.
a doctor,
a
lawyer.
Right,
Oh, my God.
If you want to be in education and go
Right.
beyond being a teacher, you got to go back to get your master's to be a principal and a superintendent.
That's
Getting your doctorate helps that a lot. So, I think in today's society, America is coming back like industrialized again. So we got more like factory jobs. There's this like biopharmaceutical culture is growing. So there's more like my dad, he does work at a biopharmaceutical plant. So it's called Grifols Pharmaceuticals. So they manufacture plasma. So those are guaranteed jobs that have to happen because they are contingent upon, people having means of survival. Like if you don't have plasma, you're not going to survive.
Right, no doubt.
So, having these kind of jobs available and accessible, you don't need a 4-year degree to do that anymore. And they're paying people 50, 60K a year fresh out of school. And some jobs even offer signing bonuses. Like I know there was one pharmaceutical plant that was offering people like 15,000 sign on plus salary. So it's super incentivized too, man. And those companies do a better job of incentivizing their employees.
And so when you went to the concept of like, everybody's need a degree, you pretty much took it out of my mouth. Like doctoring, superintendent, maybe an engineer, like certain jobs or careers require a degree. Like those fields have it. But if you just the average Joe, it comes off to me like getting a degree, any degree,
right,
doesn't make sense. Like, okay, if you're going to the next level and you're trying to get those particular jobs, you have to have a degree and be successful in this area. But we're gonna go to my cousin Uncle Don, who's different. Like, he's still being a successful man in a different realm of the world. And like, talk to him about Dunk.
Yeah, and then my aspect of the game, where I call it, because that's what it is somewhat. You got somebody like me that's already on the inside, and what Melo was saying about the administrative part, since I'm already in there, I would tell it like it is, because you got people talking to certain ones,
right.
And I can go there and say, well, look, my boy Melo over here, he got the degree to go get it in the house with me, because I'm already in there.
Right.
So, Melo has no problem with getting in once I talk up for him. Without me even having the education, I don't have a GED, but I'm already in there on a job that requires the need to be done because I work for the city. But that's another talk.
No. Go with it. Like tell them like how you are. Like you ain't have a degree, so like
I didn't have a degree and didn't do this, do that. Like Melo said about playing ball and go to NBA. If I had a little bit more, guidance,
right,
outside of you talking about going to work, doing this, that, whatever, I probably would have reached the next level. But that's another whole talk for another show. But by me working for the city of Raleigh, and I'm already in there. A lot of administrative jobs going on. Just a matter about communicating and all that good stuff. And when the job presents itself, and I know so-and-so person or people, it can get done.
Right.
With no problem, but it is what it is. It's just a lot about spending money and you going in debt, trying to get the education, and be a thing of the past. And it's reversing back to the industrial side.
Right.
But depends on if that job is really needed, and my job is really needing demand.
No doubt.
Garbage
we got
to be
food
picked up.
and groceries always going out the door.
Yeah, garbage stuff got to be picked up.
Got to be picked up.
And then you also need somebody on the somewhat educational side with administrative. So there where Melo comes in there. And they're going to mention his name or mention Brad or so, because I'm already in got my foot in the door. And I see all that going on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he get that job?
Exactly.
What the world
That's
going
how
on?
it's supposed to be, but
You said he been to prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
That's
did
what
he?
I'm saying. It's supposed to be that
He
way.
ain't even qualified for the job. But
So,
Melo
you
is.
know.
Or Brad is. So why Melo ain't sent to the computer up there? They got Melo on the back of the truck.
Exactly.
I
It's
mean,
all about who you know.
it's all about who you know about there. So, as a now, I'm Pepsi. I'm a brand.
Yeah.
I put my name out there, so that's why I'm where I'm at today.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
And that's the truth.
That's the truth. That's it.
But that's a big piece of life too. Like
Yeah.
that's something I encourage young. Like I've mentored young people since I was young. I know I had a lot of cousins who grew up without fathers, so I kind of not trying to play dad, but being that male role model to show them like these things are attainable. So whether I felt like I was prepared to go to college or not, I went because I wanted to show my younger cousins you can like this can be done. And not only can you go to college, but you can graduate. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the most important piece of anything, like that confidence and that branding matters. Like every day you walk out the door, you have to have a brand. So when people see you outside of who you work for, who you may be related to, they need to understand like who you are as a person and how does your brand impact them. You get what I'm saying? And so that's how a lot of companies they're steering away from, you have this degree and looking at people's GPAs when they graduated and all this and that. Like it's getting back, which I appreciate is the fact that they're getting back to like, I call it the humanity scope. Like who are you as a human? Can who you are as a person positively reflect my business or my organization? And does your work ethic make you qualified to do the work I need for you to do? So I like your brand. Now, can you do the work? If you can do both, we good.
Man, that's crazy. Cause like I'm going back to him first. So
Wow.
go back to you, Don.
Boy, you just inspired me on that speech right then. Boy, you summed up everything I need to say, what they need to hear. Oh, boy, I tell you. Hey, we got to have you around more often.
So,
I'm here to inspire. That's what we're here for, man.
One hand wash the other.
So no, I ain't finished. Don't like so like you where you at. You know these guys talking about degrees and what they have, and like you're not having a degree, not even a GED, but you're still living the American dream. Like talk about that.
Well, I already somewhat prepared myself for the future because they were already talking about when I was in school. I graduated, 97, 98?
Right.
But I was kind of like in between the times when they were talking about, like I said, the education. But I say, what about on the flip side, if things start going down, it's like, you need to be a doctor, you need to be have these jobs that's really out there, or you need to work for the town to see. I said, I need to have something secure. I need the benefits, the money for retirement. I need to already prepare myself for the future. At 45 years old, like I am now, I'm almost on the short end of the road. I'm almost about to be towards the end with 22 years in. So I would say is whatever you do, put your all into it and make sure you have job security.
ain't joking.
Job security.
All right.
Right about that.
My raw thoughts, man. At the end of the day, like everybody has like amazing stories, but for me, it's like a level of like network, subconscious, like understanding who you are, your gift of who you are, like what you're doing to execute, like where you're at. Like everybody has their own unique way. Every job is looking for everyone who's the perfect guy. You're never gonna find the perfect guy, but you want to be able to like find the medium in that, and that's where I'm at. Like, like it's a lot of things I may have, I may be valuable. Some people may feel like you're an asset to their company. Some people may feel like you're not an asset. Some companies you may be an asset. Some people may think that it hits differently. But for me, man, I don't know. Like things just fall in my lap sometimes, man.
Yeah.
And it's a thing like it just fall in my lap. Like how did he get there? How did he get this? How did he get that? It ain't no hate. It ain't no bash or nothing on anybody. So I'm like, if he fell in my lap, because who I am
Right.
as an individual. Some people may say good, bad, or ugly, but like who I am is layered into it. And it's times that in the position I'm in now, I'm like the marketing director of the East Carolina Council of Boy Scouts of America. And I'm still trying to figure out like how they even get this job. Like they came out, they seen my resume, and I'm still saying to myself, like, how did I even manage to even be in this position? But it's my uniqueness to where I can have an aura to anyone, no matter that genre. The brand, and is what the producer's saying, and the brand and who I am to like easily bring people in, because think about me. If you with me and if you're around me, it ain't about me. It's about how I'm gonna help you win. And I don't even really care about what anybody else or what my job inquires of me. It's more like a thing of like, how can I help you win? My thing is, my whole soul has been built on upon of like, how can I help others? It's never been about me. I never been thinking about myself ever. It's more like, how can I help somebody else be in position to win in life? And I'm type like, even if I make $0 or go in the negatives, negative $5,000, it's about how can I help that individual be their greatest self. And for some reason, the universe or religion, whatever, works in mysterious ways. But go ahead and suddenly about to say something, Brad. I felt you.
I was just gonna say. I mean, the one word I could use to like make that even live even more is authenticity. Like everybody has their own authenticity. It can't be duplicated. It can't be imitated. You know what I mean? So what you do as Ryan Primetime Jones can only be done by you, Ryan Primetime Jones. What I'm able to do as Brad or as people know me, Mitchspiration, that's my thing. That's my brand. Nobody can do what I do the way I do it. And everybody has that. Same for Melo. People don't have his same style of play on the court.
Right.
People can't get to the bucket the way he gets to the bucket. Like everybody's got their own authenticity in different ways, whether it's through your personality, your professionalism, your athletic ability, whatever that looks like, everybody has their own authenticity. And once you understand that and embrace it and don't base who you are off everybody else's perceptions and opinions of you, that's when those opportunities that you're talking about fall in your lap. People got to see that you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in you, they not going to believe in you.
Right.
So like whether you're out reporting at a football game and you fumble the words on the prompter or you might stutter during the interview, as long as you can bounce back, it happens to the best of everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Even the best people have their moments. They might not talk about them because they done hit that pinnacle and they don't make the same mistake twice, but everybody has their moments, but it doesn't take away from who you are. And so the real people who recognize that going to be like, all right, he fumbled, okay, whatever. That's still Ryan, go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
man, he hit
that's
a line
what it's
there.
about, man.
So,
topic.
you got anything else you want to say before we go to this next topic?
Not on that one. I was just about to segue to that next jump. So because this is what I'm saying. So y'all, like I said, each one of y'all married. Everyone, both of y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm
January 1st made 3 years for me, so I'm still young in the marriage game.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So my question would be, as the what they call the bachelor up here.
Okay.
How did y'all get to that point though? Like, what did y'all? Because I mean, it's dating in this day and age is crazy.
Yes. I'm glad my jersey hung up, bro.
It's
Real
crazy.
talk. I'm glad my jersey hung
Well,
up.
with B, you already know I love to party, so it took me for mine to have some older parents. They would help me out. My mother had some older parents, and once I slowed my speed down on the car, everything worked out just fine. I mean it worked out just fine. That's my good helpmate. At the end of the day, everything get done every month.
That's how I supposed to be.
Even the gas in the car, the oil change.
I'm gonna tell you what the biggest problem is this.
Oh yeah.
We live in a culture now. Number one, we're at a gender war right now. Like we got on social media, men is trying to tell women how to be women, and women is trying to tell men how to be men, and men can't hold each other accountable because men too sensitive. Like if you don't have men in your circle who can hold you accountable, and then women be emotionally babysitting each other. Like they don't know how to keep it real with their homegirls from time to time either. So it's like we got all these different constructs happening at one time. So people are very like hesitant to be vulnerable to the other, gender. Like for me, I ain't even gonna call it like it's not even a move because I don't feel like I ever really had game. Like I've always been able to carry good conversations, things like that. But I tell people what it is from the jump. Like my wife I'm with now, when we met, I told her like, hey, I'm looking to be married. Like I'm dating for marriage. I want to be a dad. If you ain't trying to have kids, then we don't need to even push it no farther. I don't need you to be on the fence about it. I need you to know, like, if you have a desire to be a mother, we can rock. If you have a desire to be married, we can rock. But like there were just certain non-negotiables that I spoke on from day one. And it's like I told my wife too, I'm from a majority female family, so I have more female friends than male friends. I rock out with women a lot more than men, to be honest. Like my guy friend circle is very small. So it's like, if you're not comfortable with me having a lot of female friends, let's just keep it cool. Like anything that I even thought would be a red flag for a woman, I exposed them to day one. And I'm putting the ball in your court. You make a decision, because once this ball get rolling, you knew what it was, because I gave you the business from the first day.
That's a fact.
Anything that goes left after that, that's on you.
Nah, I get it. So like, for me, I feel what you're saying, and you pretty much said the same thing. Even before I even, got married or whatever, and things that I was dealing with. So my theory was, if I went on dates, and I'm not trying to be cocky, not trying to be funny, just raw thoughts, like, I have an aura. Even, a lot of people tell me all the time, I have an awareness about the individual. They'll try to use that, but it's not even just about the awareness, it's just about me being me. So I'm the type of person, like, before I even got to where I was at, I used to go on dates, stuff like that. I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna lie. First date, whatever's going on, dinner, whatever, hey, look, you want a man to be around? Raw thoughts, it's on the way. You want a man to be around?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a man to come around every now and then? Or do you want a man to touch you up?
Touch you up.
So I need to know, like, which way you going, because
Right.
it may not be what I
Touch
want.
you up.
Right.
But if you want me to be around for that, I'm so like a lot of people now, a lot of people, yeah, right, oil change that Uncle Don. So
Touch
like
up.
when it comes to that, like if you need that, then if that's not where I'm at, then I'm not gonna do it. And some women may like that, like I just want you around for this. No, we're not doing it. I'm trying to build stability in my life. Like, I'm trying to build something that's gonna be around forever. Like people always say I'm a hopeless romantic, like, but that's just me. So like I don't want to be in that perspective, because like if you want me to touch you up, you might need the next man to touch you up.
Right.
So it depends on, it's like a honeymoon stage. Like it's a thing of like honeymoon stage is like everything is fresh when it's the honeymoon stages, but when the honeymoon stages end, how you keep the fire alive? Can you keep the fire alive? Can it be this? Can it be more than just a touch up? Can it be more than just me and you doing this? Can it be a thing of like where can we create financial stability in life? So a lot of those people respected me when I gave them my decision, and to this day they're cool with me because they respect it, and people don't understand that. And this ain't about degrees, it ain't about job, it ain't about money, and nothing. I ain't got time to be playing around. I want a forever relationship. Like if you ain't with the forever, and through forever, like trials, tribulations, life happens. Like, can you be forever? Things happen. Like, I don't want to be your lab science. I don't want to be your rat project. I don't want to be your lab science project where you in the lab trying to figure out what works, what don't work. I don't want to be that, because I'm more of that. I'm
your
a bear.
Build-A-Bear.
Yeah. You're not gonna use me in a lab and say this work. I made you. You made me. We're not playing no games. No, I'm not a person that's made of that. Like, you're not gonna use that against me. Whatever you believe in or whatever, you're not say I made you. I done this or I done that, and I need you to be this. I'm trying to experiment on you. I ain't no experiment. I know who I am. Look, I'm aware. Like, even like life, man. Everybody goes through roadblocks. Everybody goes through stumbles. Everybody goes through trials and tribulations. But that doesn't mean like to the point where you're the person who goes through it, has to be through that forever.
Yeah.
Like, people go through, everybody. All of us that probably went through something that was a roadblock. But that doesn't define us. That doesn't make us be who we are. That doesn't make us seem to who we are. Like, you may have a situation may happen, maybe for like 10, 20 years you was on the road. Heartbreak, something happens, and you fall off. Like the song with Drake, Headlines. People told me I fell off. Well, I needed that. That's what Drake said in his song. Yeah. Although y'all might be J. Cole, Drake. I'm a music guy, but I don't get into that deep, like from J. Cole to Kendrick Lamar, whatever, Jay-Z, guys like that. So from my perspective is you got it. So from that perspective, I'm not your lab rat. You're not gonna use me as an experiment and say that you made me. No, I'm prime time, baby. That ain't Deion Sanders. You ain't gonna never use me as no daggone lab rat like I'm just some nobody. It don't work like that. Like, and I'm not saying, but at the same time, I'm not better than nobody. But you're not gonna say I'm your experiment. I'm your project. I made you. No, we're not doing them games. We're not doing that. Yeah. So in life, like, I think of it like
Well, you can
right. I am, and that's raw thoughts. One thing about raw mind, raw thoughts. I'm deep because like I'm not on that level. Like
He done threw
you're
the
not gonna-
Crisco in
You're
the pan.
not gonna say you made me.
He
It's all
upset.
right. It's all right.
The person who made me was my mom and my daddy when they had me. Well, actually, they had me in Princeville, in Scotland. I mean, in Southern Terrace. Matter of fact, they had me. They even told me they made me when I was in They made me in Southern Terrace in Princeville. They told me like it was yesterday. Both of them, mom and daddy. So you ain't make me. They made me. Shoot, look, bro, those. Like, don't try to play me. So, my theory is, at the end of the day, it is what it is. How you feel. But when I went on dates, way before I even got into the situation, like, I always ask everybody those 3 questions. They were like, you ask these 3 questions to everybody? To this day, ask me, did anybody, like, turn away from me? No, they didn't, because they knew who I was. They knew that I was genuine. And at the same time, when I'm dealing with somebody, I'm looking for future. I'm not looking for fun. Because at the end of the day, it's just raw thoughts. I'm about to hit you with this. A lot of people always told me I was attractive. That ain't even the question. I ain't worried about attractiveness. I'm worried about like who I am as an individual in my heart and my soul. My soul is what attracts more, not about how I look.
Yeah.
Raw mind, raw thoughts. Go ahead, Melo. I'm there.
Yeah, you was deep.
He was in his bag, bro. He was in his bag.
My
He
boy
was
in his
upset.
bag. Yeah, sound like you good.
Yeah.
You good?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nah, but
Dump-
Melo, what was your?
yeah.
I know you
I
had.
was gonna let Dump rap, cause you know y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I give my perspective after or whatever. I had something in my eye too.
I didn't know if you had like a specific question regarding marriage or something, because I know
Oh,
you had
nah.
segued into it.
Yeah, I went in. I'm sorry, man. I forgot about that. Look, is he teary-eyed?
Oh, you got some on my eye, but you
No, I was
I'm
just.
listening to what you're saying. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Ask
yeah.
me whatever you got. Shoot me a shot. Shoot whatever you shot.
I ain't got no question because, like y'all said, it's like marriage is supposed to be like I'm supposed to, through all the tough times, I'm supposed to wake up to you, and I don't want to be with nobody else for
Right.
the rest of my life. And that's where I'm at. Like, you know, I'm 37. I done everything it is to do at this point in life or whatever. So now I'm on the other side. Like, you know, I'm trying to be in life with one person. That's it. You know,
ready to
that's where
settle.
I'm at. I mean, you
I
know,
feel
we old, bro. We old. You know.
You know what? It's gonna take time. The time you got to put in it.
Yeah. that's
Nah,
a
man,
fact.
I can't go today.
Oh yeah, I learned that. I learned that from relationships. I learned that. That's even regular
I mean,
girlfriend, boyfriend.
It might ain't be nothing I want to do.
Yes,
I
sir.
gotta do what she want to do.
Yeah, that's a
Man.
fact. That's a lot of you gotta bite the bullet on some stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even when, you know, women got to do the same, but it's just like I said, in this day and age, well, it's different.
I'll say this, man. The one thing I will say, and the one thing I'm learning, even being 3 years in the game, like the person I said I do to on January 1st, 2022 is not the same woman that she is now.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not saying that in
That's nice.
I'm not saying that in a bad way at all.
I respect that.
What I'm saying is this.
I respect
What I'm
it.
saying is this. People assume that person is going to stay the same forever, and they're not. Like, my wife's interest has changed. Some of the places I used to like to take her, she don't like them places no more.
Yeah.
Now she has new interests I never even knew about. So now I got to do, you know, more intentional planning about giving her those experiences. You know, certain movies she used to like to watch. She don't like to. So it's just, that's human nature. Same for me. I'm not the same guy that she stood in front of and put a ring on my finger either. You know, so I think people have to understand that. Like, I think the statistic says that every 5 years a human evolves and changes. So the person you are now will not be the same Melo, Prime Time, Quincy, whoever you are, like 5 years from now. And that's based off life experiences. It could be from a tragic situation. It could be from a increased lifestyle. You might get a better paying job. Things just change. And those things, you know, if you're in certain ways, it can change you. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not. But also that's why having a spouse is important, because like I call my wife my mirror. Like, she's able to see me when I can't see myself. So she's able to point things out to me, which I'm very self-aware as a man. Like, a lot of times she's telling me that she's recognizing things that I'm already like beating myself up about inside, but I just haven't said it. So when she says it, I get pissed off, but I'm not mad at her. I'm mad because I haven't fixed that error yet. And so she has to learn that, like, when she says certain things to me and it hits me heavy, it's not because I'm mad because of what she said. I'm mad because I haven't been able to fix it yet. But that's what makes me human. And certain things are a process. Certain things are immediate. Certain things are a process. But if anybody is choosing to be married, that is a big piece of the puzzle.
And with that being said, so I'm gonna go to this level. Like people don't understand we live in a capitalist country. We live in America.
Facts.
Right? Raw thoughts, whatever. Sometimes, like in a marriage, like when financial stability is not there, like people don't understand. Maybe it's me. Like if your financial stability is not there, it affects your mental and your spiritual world. Because like your financial is not there to ground you. So by the fact that that's not there, it can affect everything in your life. And people may say finances don't mean nothing. If you as a man, as a husband, is not where you need to be financially, it can affect everything, to stability, to how you mentally process stuff, to how you spiritually process stuff.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel like you're beneath somebody. Like you're not able to provide, or like you're not able to provide for your family because you're looking at a level like, I'm not the man I need to be. And that hits a man differently from the female.
Provision is a whole. We can do a whole. I can give
Do a
you
whole album.
bro. Because here's the problem is too. We live in a culture where obviously it's a ideal situation that a woman is with a man who can provide financially, but provision is also mental, spiritual, physical, emotional. And I would even say intellectually. If you're not providing intellectual provision for your partner, if you're not challenging them to think differently or choose to live differently and go after things and be better and do better, provision is more than just money. That stuff money can't buy. So if you don't have money, you can still have a go-getter mentality, so you'll find a way. You'll have a mentality, oh, I got these gifts and talents. Let me do this on my own. You know what I'm saying?
About me?
I've been down before.
These days, though.
You know, like Ryan know, I've been down before. I've been out of work, but I know I do photography, so I know how to book a photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I got to pick up a part-time job, my pops always told me, it ain't no job too unworthy to do well. So if whatever I got to do to make sure my family good, I'm going to do it. But I can't sit at home and just beat myself up about, oh, I don't have a job. I'm not employed. What is my wife going to think? No, like, you got to get proactive. You know what I'm saying? But provision is deeper than just money. I might need to write a book on that.
No, you do. So before I even go to everybody else,
because I can turn up
that's
on
the
that.
truth. I look at a level like when people going through whatever job you at, like it's a passion you love or a job. People like you could tell them everything you just said. We could say, I'm going through this, I'm going through that at home. Oh, okay. We apologize. Take a few days off. But when you gonna pay that rent? When you gonna pay that mortgage? When you gonna pay that light bill?
And
We understand.
old lady on your back.
But they still saying like they still at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, they still trying to figure out when you gonna pay whatever you gonna pay. They actually try to make it feel like they care about you, but in reality, they want to know when you gonna make that payment. They don't care if it's the 20th of the month. They want to make sure it's coming.
Yeah.
So then bills gonna keep coming with or without. Go ahead.
Without.
Your turn, Melo. I'm sorry, we didn't talk enough.
You said y'all was rapping. Getting the marriage perspective. I'm getting the marriage perspective. 'Cause like I say, it's different for me. So
Your turn, though. He looked at you. Sorry.
I know, because, see, me, what I did from the beginning of my relationship that he was talking about, even though I was at the level of life where I was at, but I would say she was my girlfriend during the time, I actually helped her to help me.
Right.
To get to where, I can't say where I'm at today, to where we are here today.
Facts.
right.
Because the situation I actually helped her to help us to get to where we at today in a type of comical way. After that, I didn't worry about how we do that. When the time comes time to pay the mortgage, it's done. Time to pay light bill, it's done. Time to travel here downtown, what I'm doing tomorrow. It's done.
Take time.
If we can relax.
Where you going tomorrow?
Well, I'll call you. But this is real life, true story stuff what's going on now. And I actually helped her to help me. And we've been together, 13 years strong, but married for almost 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. It took time in there.
Yeah.
I got to know her. She really got to know me. We still, that's a learning process. Even about the job, politics now, which don't get into politics, but all aspects of life to where we at today. Now you said the next 5 more years, I might be in the chain totally different. Yeah, I know she is. She female, so you know how to go.
So I
I'm
can
just
go
saying,
out.
but it all come together because we are together as one,
Right.
and it's still gonna work out.
So I
Right.
can go out
I
there.
just go in the other room.
Yeah, I can go off that dump. So you said, like I said, because I was talking to this girl. I was talking to this girl for my girlfriend for 9 years, right?
9 years.
So you're right. That's what I'm saying.
Man,
So
man.
I'm listening to what
Hey,
Don
hey,
said.
you ain't never get
Now
married?
listen. Exactly.
9 years?
That's
They didn't get
exactly.
married.
That's
Ooh.
I put in my
Boy,
That's-
every girl after 5 years, they're ready to say you gotta
that's
be married or you gotta
exact-
go.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my my.
Uh-oh.
Take that long.
I don't
That's
think it take that long.
That's
myself.
exactly what I was.
That's myself.
But that's exactly what I was getting at. So you say, you know, all right.
Not
we
that
say,
long. No,
we
give
say
me 2 years. I'm good.
we've been together off and on for 9 years.
It is.
But
it is.
right,
it is,
right.
It is,
So
it is.
it's situational. It ain't like,
involved.
nah, it ain't even that. It's,
But I feel
it's
like
about the fact
it
of the
goes
matter-
back to like I said before, like if people get out of the formalities of relationship and just doing the cute stuff and have real conversations, if you have real conversations early in the game, you can make that happen quicker than you think.
But what I'm gonna say was
I
like,
know there might be some things that might have to, like outside of like money and things like that, just the knowing that you want to be with that person for the rest of your life, that part can happen really quick.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a boomerang in this. Raw thoughts. What if the communication is not compatible?
It ain't, and that's what I'm saying.
So I
That's
feel
why-
like the word compatibility is like a figment of the imagination. I feel like there's a lot of labels society puts on things to create degrees of separation, right? So this word compatibility gets thrown around from what I see, and I'm not throwing shade at nobody, because there's just certain people that you don't need to do life with, even on a friendship level. But what I'm saying is, some people use that compatibility word to run away from the work of getting to know somebody. People are scared to do the work. So it's
Right.
easier to say, she don't like this and I like this,
and I'm
we're not
leaving and I'm
compatible, boom, I'm out the door.
Right.
That ain't how it work, bruh.
Nope.
Because you're going to change. And what you might like now and what she might not like could change. She might end up liking what you like.
Which
You
is-
don't know.
Which is what you said earlier about the friends, like having female friends. You know, I have female friends, but you know, I'm not trying my female friends.
Right.
Open, I'm honest. Like, if you want to hang out, when we hang out, you can hang out with us, whatever. But over the 9 years, like I said, you know, when these people come around, like I said, I'm just, you know, like we said, we a brand. People think I'm cool. People like, you know, my aura, my music selection, different stuff. Oh, I want to hang around y'all, whatever. All right, you cool. You know, I ain't gonna be disrespectful to my woman at
Right.
the time.
Right.
But you know, women can't take it sometimes. You know, as attractive men, you know, oh yeah, they gonna try you this, that, and the third. But that don't mean I'm gonna react off of it.
Right.
So you know, and like you said, stuff changed.
Yeah.
Like over the 9 years, stuff changed. We go from 25, 26-year-old, we partying. We ain't thinking about the next step in life till you get to your 30s, till you get now we closer to 40, and we like it's about stability now. So my thought process, your thought process got changed as well as mine.
Right.
If your process ain't changing, then I can't sit up here and say I'm gonna be happily married to you, because I want when I'm married, I don't want a divorce.
And that's good grounds to walk away from the situation.
So the next part that's the next part. It hit me right then because you were talking everything about grounds and changing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Changing also matters with family. So let's say like your family has a certain way. Like you have relationships with like, I don't care what it is, my family is my family. But maybe that family is not you, or you can't change it. So like it's cool. What I'm saying is like it's cool to be with family, understand family, know their family, but also understand like if a person saying like, I'm gonna be loyal to my family even if they wrong.
Oh yeah, I mean that's part of the that's part of the evolution too. Like I was dealing with that. Like I felt like the family was kind of more important than what I had going on. And like I said, you still got to care for me. At the end of the day, like not trying to sound soft, but this is what it is. You know, you got to we have to transition. Like my Christmas is supposed to be spent with you, and the kids. It ain't supposed to be spent with your mom and your sisters. You know, us
Yeah.
now. We trying to create or build a family
Exactly.
that's gonna go on for generations. And like I said, stuff got to change.
It's not like saying
That's
you
why
like,
I say the
you don't
9
mind spending
years.
2 hours with them or 3 hours. But
Yeah.
like after that, like
Yeah. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like it's just like you go to a cookout, you ain't gonna stay all.
No.
Christmas Eve, I want to be with you. And the kids.
I want to
That's-
be with you.
And Melo,
Buying
that way
purses
while you on
too easy.
that way
Paying
you
bills
got to
too easy.
cleave. You singing, but that way you got to cleave to your wife, or you got to cleave to your husband,
Oh, yeah.
or it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have a lopsided
Right.
relationship or marriage. I don't need to go with them group of women, or I don't need to go with them group of men, and it's not working to my household. And then y'all start bumping head when ain't nobody around.
Yeah.
That means the equilibrium is way unbalanced.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand, bro.
We
It
unbalanced.
is mad fun creating your own family dynamics, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with popping out, being with my my wife from Kinston, my people from Rocky Mount. I'll say this. So my family was like, I come from a family, like when I was born, most of my family members were like 50 plus, right? So from age and different things happening, people just started dying. So it got to a point where I guess kind of like as a response to that, we were like forcing more family centered things to happen. We need to get together more with everybody's like, we all we got type mentality, which is beautiful and it's a great thing. But that's part of the concept of leaving and cleaving. You can take from what you've learned for your family, implement it into the family you're creating, and add new things into it. So like Christmas, me and my wife, we decided we're going to do like a 12 days of Christmas stocking stuffer. So on December 13th, we put a new toy in my son's stocking every day that he could go and pull out. So that's going to be a family tradition now. We never did that in my family. In my family, we only got to open one present Christmas Eve night, and then we did everything else Christmas Day. So for our son, it's going to build more excitement every single day. He's like, what am I going to get in my stocking today? But it's also going to encourage his behavior. So as he gets older, when he's in school, I know if I act up, I can't go on my stocking today. You know what I'm saying? So there's different reinforcements that go into that too. But like creating your own family structure is dope.
Right.
But a lot of people don't just take the time to do that. Like, do it. You know what I
And
mean?
they don't. So somebody go down. You better get some more raw thoughts. So like for me, yeah, you thought you got deep a few minutes ago. So for me, like I was always like, as my dad and my uncles, they were there, but they weren't like there all the time. Not in a bad way. So they always were there, but nothing like personal or bad to them. My dad was doing what he had to do, but for me, from my mom's side, it was like my great grandma, my grandma, and my aunt. My other aunt, so that's women. So I already kind of like understood the dynamic. But then when you get married and stuff like that, like I'm starting looking at it's about to get raw thoughts here, people. But take it how you want to take it. Man, when I used to go to events and I used to drop, the wife off at the time, and I used to always wonder why the husbands were never around. Maybe about 20 women in there. I might be over exaggerating, but like there ain't no men, and they be like, "Yo, why am I over here with all these women?" And they want me to be here, but none of the men are there, and the husband's not there. But they'll come around when it's needed. But like, I'm like, nobody gave me the memo. Like, which I understand. They don't have to give to it. It's cool. But ain't never women. Like, and you're there. It's not a bad thing. It's not like saying there's nothing wrong. But it's like, if I'm the only man there, and no men there, and ain't nobody saying nothing, and then you go through stuff, and if things go wrong, if it goes south, you got a whole bunch of women's perspectives. And then you have women, you have men who ain't even there, or husbands that ain't even there, taking the women's side because they not even there to even know what really happened. And so you got all these women all around. I even remember one time, so slow at the time, she saw me like, I know you about to leave, and then but women here. I'm like, why would I even, like,
One never came.
yeah, like, I'm like, yo, they them women here. Not a man in the room. They and I, honestly, truth be told, I can care if they like me or they don't, they love me or not. It is what it is. I don't really care. It is what it is. But on the level, like, they weren't around. They didn't tell me. They ain't warn me. So, they probably did their own thing. They might talk amongst themselves. That's cool. But at the same time, it is what it is. But like, man, no, you ain't gonna make me into something I ain't. I'm around 30 women and I'm sitting here like I'm the bad guy off of some women stuff. And they want to make this fairy tale storyline about what it is like. It's that level that, like, I don't want that fairy tale. Like, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of women. I'm the only man in the room, and then something go wrong. I'm looking like I'm the black sheep. Like, I don't want to go through that either. So I'm like, okay. So I stopped going around. Then guess what happens? I stopped going around.
We ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah. Or, oh my
Then
God,
it's like,
what's
oh,
wrong?
yeah.
Is everything okay?
Then it make it like you dislike
Yeah,
them.
right.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, man. No, that's basically what it is.
I can't help. What I always say is I can't help how other folk feel. And I don't convince people to feel away. If that's how you feel, them your feelings. But feelings do not constitute reality. Just because you feel that way don't mean that's the reality of the situation. So
That's the natural. Like he said though, that's a natural jump. If you stop coming around, oh dang, he acting funny.
What? I caught that so many times. Like, I'm not gonna be around a bunch of women. Nobody says anything about the other men or the other husbands or the other folks
Who
not
ain't
coming around.
coming at all.
When they come to me, I got it because I'm the youngest. I'm the one who has to take all the problems, and they'll make every excuse, try to say every excuse, try to manipulate the conversation, try to use it in a way to where like I'm the only one. I'm not the only. I'm not gonna be coming around all the. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Respectfully, not in a bad way because I understand as a woman. But it's like women want to be around women. And
Men
women want to
wanna
talk
be
women
around
stuff.
men.
Men want to be around men.
Facts.
But if
And
I'm the
even
only
if-
man coming
right.
around and ain't nobody saying nothing, and and the men looking back, oh, we didn't know. You knew I was coming over there. You knew I was over there. You knew I was gonna be over there. You ain't say a thing. Play victim like you ain't know. You knew the whole time. Oh, fake folks. I'm saying to myself, man, I ain't got time for that nonsense. Well, I'm saying it in a level like that. Like, I don't have time like for the concept of like men trying to play like they ain't know. You knew whatever it is. Everybody's like golden. But if I go there and I don't try to speak, and I ain't gonna lie, one time I will speak raw thoughts and I know it's wrong. But at the same time, I also understand like the concept of like protecting who I'm dealing with. So if I say something, if something happens, and something gets out there, I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. No, you can put my people. You're not gonna put my folks out there. You can put my wife and nobody out there like that.
Right.
How you feel? But I also understand, like for me, I ended up learning in a situation, raw thoughts. You put her out there, I protected her. I got chewed out because certain things don't need to be out there for her privacy. And I'm like, but they were like, right. So I'm like, oh. I can do what I want to do on this. Okay, that's cool. That's great. That's your page. But at the same time, I'm trying to protect your daughter or your sister or your cousin or whatever. And certain things don't need to be put out there in the public. But when I come back and I get home later, it was too tough. You shouldn't have said it. What you mean I'm protecting you? I'm trying to protect you. And I get cussed out. I said, man, forget it. And then I start cutting around. Why you start cutting around?
Acting funny.
Yeah,
man.
like make it make
Acting
sense.
funny.
Like I'm about protecting whoever I'm with, whoever I'm dealing with, friends, brothers,
Fact.
relationships. I will put my soul on the line. I put my life on the line for them. Like that's how I am. If you can't accept that, that's on you. But don't try to make me into I'm a villain. I ain't the Joker. I ain't the Joker. Who another villain? I can't think of another villain out there. Dr. Doom. I ain't Dr. Doom with nobody.
Thanos.
You know, it hit different, man. So I was on a level like, man, I had to realize like it's different. Like I don't even know how to explain it sometimes. I'm like, man, forget it. So one thing about me, if I see the energy, if I feel the awareness, I see it, I take off. I may go to planet Saturn. I mean that. Like, where he been at? He ain't gonna put me in that, and I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Well, you wrapped it up.
Yeah, boy.
You summed it up.
I'm sorry. I ain't mean to do that.
Deep.
Yeah, you took home over 30 minutes.
Well,
But like I said, just to finish up on that. Yeah, that's what it's about though. That joint right there was Christmas. That joint dope. I like that.
Yeah, man.
That's the goal. That's what I would like to do. Create your own family because, like I said, our kids one day those gonna be the ones throwing the cookouts and the family gatherings and the family reunions or whatever. And
We get to pick who get invited.
woo-hoo, that's tough.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I hear
You
you.
don't get that invite, you might
come
want to
over
figure
here?
out. You might need to
I can't wait
apologize to
one
somebody.
day. Yeah, I can't wait to host one day. And all the people I don't want can't come.
Somebody ain't gonna come because they already know who you are. You gonna have no mess to y'all.
Right.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that's more food for us.
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all close it out real quick.
You done done it.
Yeah, you closed it out good, but you know it's good. It's good rap
Anybody
first
want
night. It's good rap for the first night.
I think we
Keep
hit
the
on
train
some
going.
we hit on some good
topics.
instrumental
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah.
A lot of comedy, a lot of vulnerable moments. I'll say.
And hair raises on the back and everything.
Yeah, man. But these conversations need to happen, man,
Right,
and
that's a
especially amongst black men. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I know you was just talking about the whole thing about being the only man in the room. My closing remark is, black men, we need to embrace community more, man. We are not each other's competitor. We supposed to be brothers.
That's
And
right.
one thing I will say is, above everything else, black women support each other. And we got to do a better job in 2025 and beyond of doing the same.
Ooh, yeah.
Straight up.
That's another topic right there on another day.
Right or wrong.
Straight up.
We had some other topics, but we'll save them for another day. With that being said, from my minds, we're out.
Yes, sir.
What the stuff you mentioned?